Amara and the beautiful Belinda Uju are reading scriptures for me today. You're going to have to lean towards me and use my mic. I didn't bring the second mic. All right? So let us pray. Heavenly Father, I come before you to thank you for us, for a brand new day. I thank you for surrounding us with your love and kindness. And I ask that you direct us, you reveal to us, and you show us mercy, O Lord. In Yahushua's name I pray. Amen. Yesterday, big shout out to my brother Frank. Frank, this is the first time Frank was not at our London convention. Frank normally, not only would he be at the convention, he would show up with his beautiful Mercedes GLE and help members move from one location to the other in the UK. But this particular time he wasn't around, and I haven't really sat down with Frank except on his birthday. Now when you sit down with someone on his birthday, you know he's hosting people, so we can't really talk. So I don't think this year I've sat down with Frank. So we're supposed to go to the Gaha Awards yesterday, and I invited Frank as one of my guests. I was given a table, so I was supposed to go with my guests, and the only guest that I thought I could bring along was Frank. And we've been meaning to talk for a while, and we haven't had the opportunity to have a sit down. So I was like, Frank, when I go to events, I don't like driving because my car is a billboard. I can take my car to a restaurant, but event, I think I crossed the line there. Sorry? Drive my car to an event and get mobbed? You want to get mobbed? You understand? Your car is your signboard. My car is my signboard. So I usually go with taxis or anything that is inconspicuous. You will not see me. And then there's always very bad parking. You will park far away. But if you come with a cab, you just get in and go. And people like us, I don't like having drivers because drivers will sell you out. And now that they are kidnapping people in this part of the world, you have got to be very careful with your security. It's not like cabs can't, especially. But you see, I like lag ride because they have dash cams. And they seem to be more responsible than other. I'm sorry, I'm not taking a shot at Bolt or Uber. But lag rides have in-car cameras that record everything going on. So it makes me a little bit safer. Someone said no driver, so someone like me, I can't have a driver. Driver are the beginning of problem for this Nigeria. So I reduce where I go to. I remember once staying at a very good hotel and they didn't have parking. So they had to go and park my car somewhere far. And I was looking at them like, what if they crack the headlight of this Mercedes? The headlight's like 5 million naira. So where am I going to start looking for 5 million naira from? Or, okay, the car is insured. So I'll now wait for 3 months for them to ship the headlight from America. You know what happened? I just told them I needed something from the car. They brought the car, I took the car, brought it back home, packed it, took Uber and went back to Chile, where I was chilling. Anyway, so that's not the main issue. So Frank came along and Frank was supposed to meet me there. But my spirit just said, you know what? Let Frank come, let us all drive together in his car. Since I'm not going to be driving, let's be. And it was the best decision I took yesterday because we were stuck in the car together for like 4 hours. So all the talk that we've not talked in 5 years, we're able to talk that yesterday. Now something amazing happened yesterday. After crossing, as in there was traffic, before we could turn, when you come out of my junction, before you could turn to start going back to VI, there was mad traffic. We got to the second traffic light, Freedom Way, mad traffic. At every juncture, there was mad, crazy traffic. Then we crossed, what is it called? The toll gate. And then there was a lockdown traffic. I said, waiting they happen. One guy got out of his car. Daniela was there. Taste Buds was there. Frank was there. This guy got out of his car and started weeing on his tire on the road in traffic. In Victoria Island. I understand if this is done in Meron or in Agbado. Victoria Island is the London equivalent of Park Lane. Do you think you would see someone come out and wee on his car in Park Lane? In public. I put it up as a video. The answer, it's not the video. Then another guy was horning at us to get out of the way because he wanted to go and face one way. He said, just go and check it on my page. I did a video. Just in case you don't believe me, maybe I'm lying. I put up a video. And this guy, you could see him driving against, everybody else was waiting. This old man that has children at home is probably in church praising God today. Only person faced one way and was driving gallantly. Gallantly. And I expected everybody in the comment section to come out and tongue lash this driver. And about 30% was against the driver. The remaining 70% were against me for recording the video. Even you, waiting, what make you do? I just laugh. I say Nigeria will continue to be like this. There's no remedy. You see here, even in rural parts of the world, you can have an emergency. You need to wee. If that driver had waited 5 more minutes, he would have been able to cross the intersection, park by the side of the road, and go and use the gutter. This is freedom way. This thing happened around what's that thing called? Oriental Hotel. There is a long stretch of bush and gutter. You see, it's not about the fact that something happened to you in a tight spot. It is about how you reacted. What is the difference between Eroko, an animal, and a man? A man can control his urges. Or a man should be able to suppress his urges. That is why you can fast for 13 hours. It's not that you are not hungry when you are fasting, but you are controlling the urge. A lion cannot fast. He is fasting because he has not seen food. Any day he sees the food, he will eat it. If an animal wants to mate, they will mate anywhere they are in the world. They don't care who's watching. But if a man wants to mate, he will buy candle, light candle, carry the woman out to dinner, come back, then lock door, But that same man will come and in public and that same man will blame his government. He said, why didn't the government provide public toilets? In central London, there is no public toilet. If you want a toilet, you have to go to McDonald's. Please, London people, there's no public toilet in central London. You will go to, I think, McDonald's. I think McDonald's is not public, it's a company, and you have to buy their burger or buy their fries or buy something before you use their toilet. There's also one in, I think, Marks and Spencer. Because I was in central London, I was shopping in a shop and I needed to use the bathroom. I said, hey, where's your bathroom? Sorry, we don't have one. You don't have a public bathroom? Well, 5 minutes walk, McDonald's, 7 minutes walk, Marks and Spencer. I now remember that I'd used the Marks and Spencer toilet before and it's cleaner than the McDonald's one. So I walked 7 minutes to get to the Marks and Spencer bathroom. Some shops don't have toilets. Most shops don't have toilets. The malls might have toilets, but there is no government toilet in central London. How do people control themselves? Someone said they used to have toilets, but they were closed. So if in central London, people are not whipping out anacondas and making it rain on the road, why can't Nigerians who want a better Nigeria start by at least doing it in the bush or a gutter? No, you see, in the UK, you will not do it in the gutter. You will not do it in the bush. If I saw a man across a gutter, I could understand. But right there in the middle of the road, on the floor, and you are telling me that government is Nigeria's problem, and you are telling me that Nigeria has hope, I will tell you for free, until Nigerians begin the behavioral changes necessary for a better country. Frank said, Daddy Fritz, but you always say it. Our government is not from Chad. Our government is not from Canada. Our government is not from Morocco or Maldives. Our government is from those same people. Those same Tole people. Where they do am for main road. The government is picked from the same crop of people, and you might be able to walk around and work hard and pick up a Peter Obi or an Omoyele Sowore, but he's going to have to work with the Atoles, the Toles, because 95 to 99% of Nigerians are like that. Just go to my comment section. That is what they believe in. They believe it is their right. They believe the government owes them something. Yes, the government might. I don't even understand why government owes you a public toilet. How? What's the government's business providing public toilets for you? Don't you have toilets in your house? But if you think that it is okay, if you have sympathy for a man who lets go in the public, on the road, you can never dream with that same head of a better country. If you can find space in your head to accommodate such a level of behavior. Somebody said, why then do you pay taxes? Don't you pay taxes in the UK? Do they use the taxes to create public toilet for you? Alemama Sorobiento Ekon Langbaju. You would talk like who deserves slap. Hey, Rory Ebi Agada Godu. The problem is not the man who whipped it out and made it rain. The problem is not the government. The problem is you normalizing it. Because if I do and finish, person go in car, tear and slap for a neck, you go no say waiting you do no good. The problem is not the problem. The problem is the acceptance of the problem. There are three types of sin. There's the error sin. I didn't know, or it didn't occur to me. Sin. And sometimes some of the greatest and most grievous things are done when people are not really thinking. The second is when you sin and you know it is sin. You feel bad about it. You do it nonetheless, but you still feel bad about it. This money that I ate, it was meant for building a hospital. This money that I ate, it was meant for building a school or meant for the power sector. Nigeria will not have power now. You know it's a sin. You commit the sin, but then your conscience still worries you. It still bothers you. So you go on Sunday to make a donation to church to try to ease the sin. The third type is iniquity. When you are living in sin and you have no conscience bothering you. And when people come to you and say, do you know that what you're doing is bad? And you tell them that they are mad. Or your mind, without any form of conscience, whips up an excuse. So if I was a governor for 5 years and I have no money, won't people say this and this about me? Look at this man, he did not steal any money, he's suffering. Look at this man, no, my own case will not be like that. Nigeria has evolved to a point where we have religious people living in iniquity. Not sin, not error, iniquity. Where sin has become accepted as a norm. And the sad thing is, these are not pagans. These are not atheists. These are either Christians or Muslims who pray 5 times a day or go to church 3 times a week, yet live with no conscience. Make excuses, not for sin, but for living in a perpetual state of sin, iniquity. And these same people want a better Nigeria. The elections are coming. Let me tell you here. Somebody said during the last election that people ran away, that area boys came to scatter the place. I said, were the area boys introduced to the place a day before the election? Is it not the area boys that you see on the road every day? So you expect them to behave differently on election day? Make it make sense to me. I need somebody to wake me up this morning. Make it make sense to me. The area boys that are around every day and behave. Yes, they were driving home, an area boy sat on a car, and the car was driving, and the area boy sat on it. What do you expect him to do on election day? Not be waiting they do every day. Nigerians want Nigeria to be the way it is, but then to change on election day. You want election to be peaceful and fair, but you want to continue living your life every day with no peace and no fairness. It can never work. As long as your mind can accommodate iniquity, your situation, your physical situation can never. Somebody said PO is the final answer. I will tell you for free, PO will enter, nothing will change. Unless PO is a soldier and he can come and use the military to effect change. He wants to go there and effect political change. When he reaches there, he will see how easy it is. Is it not this same Nigeria that somebody was NLC president fighting against the government? Today he is now part of the government. As in, are you people oblivious to your reality? Are you people oblivious to your reality? Are you people immune to the truth around you? Doesn't it give you a fever? The change for a country does not begin with a government. It begins with a mindset. The change you're looking for can only begin with a mindset that you do not have, because you want to be unruly every day. You want to be irresponsible every day. You want to play around every day, but on the day of election, you want a good, accountable election. And I'm here to ask you today, are you accountable? Are you accountable? Are you teaching your children to be accountable? I want us, let me invite Belinda so I can read scriptures. I want us to read the Bible. Belinda. Amarachi, please, I want you to read for me. Are you ready? First Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 16. I didn't know Belinda had joined. I will have sung for you. How are you doing? You're looking very pretty this afternoon.
Thank you.
So, Belinda, you are going to read First Thessalonians chapter 5 from verse 14 in NLT. Amarachi, you're going to read First Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 16. Verse 16 from First Thessalonians chapter 5. this is NLT. Yeah, you read NLT from verse 14, and you read only 16 KJV. Only 16 KJV. So Amarachi is going to start first. She's going to read verse 16 KJV. So Belinda is going to read from verse 14 all the way down to verse 22. So Belinda, please prepare 14 to 22, NLT, New Living Translation. Amarachi is going to read in KJV verse 16 alone.
Verse 16, rejoice evermore.
Verse 17,
pray without ceasing.
Sorry, I meant it was that verse 17 that I wanted. Sorry, that's my bad, not yours. Read it again.
Pray without ceasing.
Pray without ceasing. Verse 17. Have you heard this verse before?
Yes.
Have you guys heard this verse before? Does this sound alien to you? Has everybody heard this verse before? When you tell people that prayer is not important, this is the verse they quote. They say the Bible says pray without ceasing. Thank you, my darling. I'll bring you back again. Belinda, please read from verse 14, NLT now. Hey, Belinda, don't hook. Even when the internet hooks, she's still fine. Someone said it's not an alien verse. Okay, Amarachi, you're going to help me while Belinda sorts out her internet. Someone said it's not an alien verse. All right, so I want you to now read this in NLT from verse 14 in your loudest possible voice.
14. Brothers and sisters, we urge you to warn those who are lazy.
We urge you to warn those who are lazy. Warn those who are lazy.
Encourage those who are timid.
Encourage those who are timid.
Take tender care of those who are weak.
Take care of those who are weak.
Be patient with everyone.
Be patient with everyone. The first instruction is again, first instruction.
Brothers and sisters, we urge you to warn those who are
warn those who are lazy. Now, continue reading all the way.
15. See that no one pays back evil for evil.
See that no one pays back evil for evil.
But always try to do good to each other.
But always do good to each other.
16. Always be joyful. 17. Never stop praying.
Pray without ceasing. 17.
18. Be thankful in all circumstances, for this is God's will for those of you who belong to Christ.
Thank you. Thank you, my darling. Inside all of this, what did Nigerians choose to practice as their religion? Pray without ceasing. Am I connecting to you this afternoon? Now, there is a funny thing, Amarachi, come close. Come back. I'm so sorry about this. 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, open it, verse 14. I want you to open verse 14. You're in verse 14. No, I want you to open it as a verse, because I want to, chapter 5, verse 16, so let's go to 14. Okay? Now, you can see this. So we're going to be looking at different Bible verses. New International Version says, warn those who are
idle
and
disruptive.
Idle and disruptive. New Living Translation says those who are lazy. English Standard Version says those who are idle. Berean Standard Bible says admonish the unruly. King James says unruly. Amplified Bible says,
out of line, the undisciplined, the unruly, the disorderly.
the undisciplined, the unruly, and the disorderly. Now, I want us to read this in the original language. Let's remember that all these many different translations all try to translate an original language. The New Testament was first written in what language? Greek. So the New Testament was first written in Greek. What does the Greek Bible say? It uses a word, ataklos. What does it mean?
Unruly.
Unruly. Thank you. Sit down. Is my network very bad? Can you guys hear me? I don't want to miss any of this. This next year, I think I'm going to invest in another network entirely. But sometimes I think it's actually Instagram. Oh man, Instagram is so bad. Was it bad like this before Belinda came, or it became bad after Belinda came? Because come and see, I don't want to blame my network. Come and see Amara. See. Now, guess what? If we go to Facebook and watch the same feed, it's clear. This is the same broadcast on Facebook. Blurry video. Can we work with that? Remove that. So after she came, so let me try and see if I can bring her back, and maybe that will sort it out. So I've invited her back. Now, is this better now? I'm watching. Is this better now? Okay. I think it's from Instagram. Ever since I had that problem with that guy, you understand. So let's continue from here. So the Bibles all use one word. Amarachi, please come. Let's finish this. I'm so sorry. It's the internet that's. So the Bible uses one word. What's the word? Unruly. The Bible says, warn the unruly. Is that not what the Bible says? The Bible says, warn the unruly. The Bible says, do not repay evil for evil. Then the Bible goes on to say, pray without ceasing. Do you warn the unruly? The Amplified Bible uses the words. What words do you see in the Amplified Bible? Unruly, undisciplined, unruly, undisciplined. Warn them. Because let me tell you, if you do not warn the unruly, the disorderly, you can never pray order. Order, orderliness, discipline is not gotten through prayer. Nigeria is the way it is today because people have failed. Some people are being very unruly on YouTube. So I'm gonna ask for 1 second so that I can remove Rufus, who is there talking a lot of nonsense. So that's it. It's very simple. It's gone. Uh, uh, okay, so another person saying I'm working for Tinubu. Let me remove that person. That's in the way people think. The way people think. So let's come back home a little bit. There is a concept in psychology called consistent commitment theory. Have you ever heard of it? Consistent commitment theory. Google it, Amarachi. Help me. Oh, sorry, Belinda. Help me. Consistent commitment theory. I want you guys to listen to this. Consistent commitment theory. If you use Google, you would see the description, the explanation. You can even see applications. Can you see all of those? Okay, so what is consistent commitment theory?
As a psychological principle, commitment and consistency refer to the choices people make to believe more strongly in the decisions we've already made in order to avoid cognitive
Dissonance. I want you to say it again. People, I need you to listen. I will explain it, but I need you to listen.
As a psychological principle, commitment and consistency refer to the choices people make.
The choice you make a choice. Continue.
To believe more strongly in the decisions we've already made.
You make a choice that will help you believe more in what you've already made. Continue.
In order to avoid cognitive dissonance, a situation where you have conflicting beliefs or behaviors.
Very good. So you have a belief. You establish a belief. Now, so that your real life and your belief are not going to be running contrary, you are now going to start taking decisions to buttress your belief. Now, if you read the explanation, it says people have. Did you have the explanation there? People want to be seen as rational, trustworthy. Are you seeing it there, or you don't have it in your own? Okay, so they tend to justify and follow through with their choices. It's a mental shortcut that helps people simplify decision making by using past decisions as a reference for future choices. Your past decisions are your reference point for future choices. That is why your parents will come and tell you the things that failed in their lives, and they will give it to you as advice and wonder why you are not taking it. That is why a woman who was circumcised will join other women to hold down her daughter so her daughter can be circumcised. That is why religion is so powerful in Africa, because of the consistent commitment theory. Science is very weak. Do you know why? Because science is not consistent. Today, science can take a different turn. One discovery will change a century of thinking. So because it's not consistent and because it doesn't have answers to everything, people choose what seems to be consistent without understanding that the consistency was created by you in your mind. I want to take this a little further this morning. Atheists believe that religious people believe that atheists and scientists are very arrogant. Now, the irony in this belief is that when scientists don't know something, when they don't understand something, when they have no explanation for like how the universe started, the science has no explanation for it. There was a big bang. There's always a little hole here or there, so they don't know it. Or how molecules began to replicate. But you see, religion has an answer. God took clay and molded a clay figure and put his breath inside it, and it became Belinda. Religion has the answer. One day God said, let there be light, and there was light. And he liked the light and called it day. And he liked the darkness and called it night. And then 4 days later, he created the sun and the moon. It's there in religious books. I want to explain something to you here. Claiming to know what you don't know is a profound liability in science. When you don't know something, but you claim you know it. Do you know why it's a liability? Because in science, everybody builds on something. The aeroplane is flying today because of Isaac Newton. You are building on the law of gravity. A plane flies because there are 4 principles working on it: lift, drag, gravity, and thrust. Thrust is from the engine pushing the plane forward. Lift is from the wings keeping the plane afloat. Drag is the air that is pushing against the plane, pulling it back. And gravity is pulling the plane down. An object is able to fly when its thrust and its lift can overcome drag and gravity. But when you miscalculate gravity or misunderstand gravity, what do? You now cannot fly because you have miscalculated. If I say, okay, I know the gravitational pull, or I know the air resistance, but I don't, I will now have errors in all my other calculations, and I will have a resulting plane that cannot fly. Who watched the landing of Elon Musk rocket back to his, how the thing came and went to park? Who watched it? In science, claiming to know what you don't know is a liability. It will mess all your equations up. But guess what? It is the blood work. It is the foundation of religion. When you claim to know what you don't know. In science, it's a problem. In religion, it's a strength. It's a strength in religion. Now, when you have a society that puts spirituality first, you read verse 17, pray without ceasing, without reading verse 14 that says do not be indisciplined, you can never get the physical result transferred from the spiritual realm. So the consistent commitment theory now comes into play. You believe in the decisions you have already made. Science is not like that. Do you know that Elon Musk's rocket could land because the previous one crashed? The last one crashed. So they learned from their mistakes. Religion can never learn from mistakes because they don't believe their mistakes in religion. Religion carries the profound liability of being always correct. I don't know if I'm communicating with somebody this morning. You are in a system. You are basing your decision making on a system. You are living in a system that you cannot recalibrate. You cannot interrogate. Elon Musk's first rocket crashed. What did they do? They interrogated the situation and they recalibrated the rocket, and now the rocket can land. It was amazing. And parked. The Wright brothers tried to fly. They couldn't fly. They flew for 1 or 2 minutes. Coming from London, one of our flights was 7 hours. I mean, we're in the air for 7 hours. We're going to the toilet in the air. We're eating in the air. We're sleeping in the air. Because science interrogates and recalibrates. Religion is always right. I'll tell you a story. There was a point in Tazebot's life where she had some issues with a particular business. And she went to meet 2 people. An accountant with financial understanding and a pastor with spiritual understanding. The accountant looked at the papers, looked at the work, looked at everything, looked at the state of the economy then, and said, go back and sell everything. Do not leave one thing unsold. But the pastor said, dry bones can rise again. I always remind the pastor of this. Dry bones can rise again. Tazebot walked out of that situation with 0. A situation that she could have walked out with $300,000. She walked out with 0 because dry bones could rise again. Financial analysts can be wrong. And when they are wrong, what do? They go back to the basics and they recalibrate. Let me give you an example of the consistent commitment theory so you understand exactly what it is. Imagine you work in an office, like Belinda now comes to work for Daddy Freeze. So Daddy Freeze will come to Belinda and say, Belinda, what do you need to make your work life happy? Then Belinda will say, I need a new car. Then Daddy Freeze will say to Belinda, the company does not have enough money to buy you a new car. But tell you what, how much do you spend on transport every month? Belinda will say it's 30K. We'll give you 7K. That's what the company can afford. What do you think? Belinda is happy. What they are doing is they are making her feel like she has an input in the company. They make her feel like she's part of the decision making of the company. And that is how they get the best out of her. If Belinda were smart enough, she would go and look at the books and see how much profit the company is making. And realize that 7K a month in a year is 84,000 naira. They have bought you by making you feel that you are part of a system. That's exactly how religion works. They want you to feel like your prayer points are working. They want you to feel like your prayer is contributing. They want you to feel when you go to a church, that's why the first time you go to a church, they will carry you outside and give you Coke and Okin biscuits and say, welcome. First time, they want a commitment, and they want the commitment to be consistent so that they can psychologically control you. That is why, have you noticed, no matter how much BS you pick up from the church system, no matter how much you cannot stop going. It's going to take you forever to pull out of the church system if you tried. There are people who come and listen to their defeats. When they are done, they still go to church. They go to the church, they know the pastor is talking rubbish, but they have to go. Because their commitment has been consistent over generations. This psychological impact was not done to you, it was done to your grandparents. I remember when God gave me the revelation about tithing, I realized that there is no need to pay tithe as a Christian. I still paid it for like 4 months. Because I felt what if I stop paying it? Yes, I can read this Bible. Yes, I've seen all the evidence. But what if I stop paying it and my children start to fall sick? What if there's some spirituality to it? What if my businesses close up? What if I lose my job? Do you know when I stopped paying tithes? God is wonderful. When I had no money left to pay it. When my salary came and we could not eat, this money that I was making was not enough for me to pull out 10% and give God. So I begged God the first time. I'm preaching it publicly, that is bad. I'm now begging God the first time. I said, God, please, I will pay it next month. I no pay am next month. I no pay am the third month. The children not buy. They not sack me from work. Now give me the boldness. The boldness did not come from knowledge. The boldness came from breaking the consistency and the commitment. When the commitment was no longer consistent and I did not buy. This was in 2016 when I first started preaching against tithe. I still paid it for 4 more months. Why I stopped was not because I didn't have the mind to. There was nothing to pay it out of. And then the first month came and something trickled in and I did not pay tithe and nothing happened. That's how nearly 10 years later, I have not tithed. I'm in a happy marriage. I have wonderful children who can be annoying from time to time, but are wonderful overall. They are 75% wonderful, but 25% annoying. Thank you for knowing. You are the 24% of it. So what am I trying to say? What are you consistently committed to? That will shape your future. My daughter Amarachi comes home every day. She is head of her group in the small project they are doing in school. She studies a lot. She came to ask me for money one time that she wanted to do a course. I don't know when I said I don't have the money. She went to apply for scholarship and got 90% of the scholarship. She now came and met me and said they decided I should pay the 10%. Oh wow. Sorry guys. Welcome, welcome, welcome back. Welcome back, everybody. Welcome back. So earlier on, we're talking about consistency and commitment, or commitment and consistency. There's a book I'd like you to read. It is called The Psychology of Persuasion. And it was written by a social psychologist, Robert Cialdini. I need you to get that book. The Psychology of Persuasion. I'm going to bring Belinda back in a moment. I'm just waiting for everybody to come in. So, work with me, people. Religion is something you are committed to. Whether it works or not, you are committed to it. And because of the way your mind is created, or your mind has been created over the years, there is a greater persuasion for you to go back to the way you were taught. I remember having an argument with a religious family member the other day, and the person said, "Why don't you go to church?" And my answer was, "Why do you go to church on Sunday?" And you know the answer was, "Because my parents used to take me." Today's box was there. "Because my parents used to take me to church." And I'm like, okay. I'm not committed to that commitment. So because my father, my parents, they all took us to, so that's the reason why I have to do it? No. The early church did not go to church on Sunday. Sunday was the first day of the week. The Sabbath, the last day, the day of rest, was Saturday. We all agreed. Okay, so since you all agreed, me, I'm here to disagree, because there's no scriptural basis. There's no early church basis for a Sunday church. Ask them, why do you go to church on Sunday? Ask them, see the answers they'll give you. None of them is fact. Nobody is going to tell you that Acts chapter 1 verse 43 says you must go to church on Sunday. It is all in tradition, emotion, and sentiment. What is tradition? The things you do over and over and over again. Whether they're working or not, they become your traditions. I don't know if I'm connecting with you. And Priye, God bless you. He said tradition is peer pressure from buy people. People who don't buy, still they put you under peer pressure. Your mother knew the pain of circumcision. But because of tradition and consistent commitment, your mother took you there and told you to go through with something that she's living in pain for. We have traditions. We have traditions. But the difference between me and you is I don't teach my children tradition as religion. I tell them. Someone said male circumcision is in the Bible, female is not. Show me female circumcision in the Bible. And even the Bible, where's Belinda? Even in the Bible, male circumcision was still argued. Belinda, is Belinda here? Even in the Bible, male circumcision was argued. Oh, fantastic. I just sent you a WhatsApp. Network is very bad. Galatians chapter 5 from verse 1. Belinda, please help me cue it up. Galatians chapter 5 from verse 1. Thank you very much. Galatians chapter 5 verse 1 NLT. Let me see if I'm clear. Galatians chapter 5 verse 1. Oh, okay, I'm quite clear. It was Instagram that was acting up. Male circumcision is beneficial to human health. I agree. Yes, please.
Now Christ has truly set us free. Now, make sure that you stay free and don't get tied up again in slavery to the law.
Continue, please.
Listen, I, Paul, tell you this. If you are counting on the circumcision to make you right with God, then Christ will be of no benefit to you. I'll say it again. If you are trying to find favor with God by being circumcised, you must obey every regulation in the whole law of Moses.
It's okay, it's okay. So even in the Bible, if you read Galatians chapter 2 from verse 11, please, the male circumcision was argued. Paul argued I don't need it. Galatians chapter 2 verse 11.
But when Peter came to Antioch, I had to oppose him to his face, for what he did was very wrong. When he first arrived, he ate with the Gentiles, with the Gentile believers who were not circumcised. But afterwards, when some friends of James came, Peter wouldn't eat with Galatians anymore. He was afraid of criticism from those people who insisted on the necessity of circumcision. As a result, other Jewish believers followed Peter's hypocrisy, and even Barnabas was led astray by their hypocrisy. When I saw that they were not following the truth of the gospel message, I said to Peter in front of all the others, since you, a Jew by birth, have discarded the Jewish laws and are living like a Gentile, why are you now trying to make these Gentiles follow the Jewish tradition?
Thank you very much. So even in the Bible, there was a huge debate going on about circumcision. Acts chapter 15 verse 1. I'm giving it to you off my head. All the places where there is circumcision. Acts chapter 15 verse 1. So even as a man, biblically, you don't need to be circumcised. It is a good choice. It's a healthy choice. So we're taught. But the same people that came and taught us healthy choice told us not to eat egg 10 years ago. And now they're all telling us leave everything and eat only egg. Acts chapter 15 from verse 1.
While Paul and Barnabas were at Antioch of Syria, the men from Judea arrived and began to teach the believers, unless you are circumcised as required by the law of Moses, you cannot be saved. Paul and Barnabas disagreed with them, arguing vehemently.
No need to go any further. Paul disagreed. They said you need to be circumcised. Paul said, no, you don't need to be circumcised. So even the male circumcision is more tradition and health than gospel. But then women, for no reason, do you know why? Do you know why they circumcise women? So they lose the pleasure of it. Believing that a woman is more likely to be faithful if she doesn't enjoy it as much. Because men owned women. And you will not want your property to be all over the place. But my argument has always been, you can stop a woman from being promiscuous because she loses the enjoyment in it. But a woman that is going to sleep with a man to get money, if you like, remove everything, leave bone, she will still do it. Because she's not doing it for the pleasure, she's doing it for the money. A woman that is going to sleep with a man to get a 2 billion naira contract, she will use baby oil and enjoy it or unenjoy it and get her 2 billion naira contract. The society where it could have worked was a society where men owned women and men provided for women. So if the woman wasn't enjoying it, she'll be too busy raising her kids. But in a society where you are telling your woman to go out there and go and hustle, and you're asking your woman, what are you bringing to the table? If you like, cut down from rib cage down. As long as one place there to put on, they go use them. So it defeats the purpose of modern society. It might have been useful 1,000 years ago. Do you realize that biblically adultery is dependent on the woman, not the man? A married man having outside intercourse with an unpledged virgin is not adultery. It's not a crime. If they catch you in it, you must marry her, and you must pay her bride price. Finish. But the moment the woman is pledged to be married or married, then it becomes capital punishment. Because somebody called me today and was reading Deuteronomy today. I was laughing at it. I said, you want to go inside Deuteronomy? Deuteronomy where if they force V to bench, as long as nobody get the V, you go marry and that be your punishment. The book of Deuteronomy, where gathering sticks on the Sabbath was a more serious crime than getting a 9-year-old, made a RAP 9-year-old picking. If you RAP 9-year-old, as long as nobody get them, as long as you don't marry anybody, the consequences, you go and marry her. That's it. Finish. If you gather stick on Sunday, firewood, they catch you, now stoning you. If you don't believe me, do you want me to believe that? Do you want me to prove it to you, or do we accept that I'm speaking the fact? Somebody say it's lie. Me and your papa, who they tell them? Do you want me to prove it, Belinda? Or do you want me to go on? Anything you want. I'm handing it over. Go. It's there in the Bible. So you are going to that same part of the Bible to prove the things that are consistent with your ideology. And that is why Nigeria does not grow. Because what you do is you rely on previous generations that failed. You don't know that your parents' generation failed. Oh, you thought they succeeded. I tell people all the time. Someone said, any business decision I want to take, I ask my mother. I asked the person one question. I said, how much money do you send your mother every month? She said, I just send her feeding money. I send her her medicals, and I pay her rent. I say, someone that cannot pay their rent in old age, cannot buy their medicine in old age, They are giving you financial advice. Oh, you are a genius. You are asking someone who failed to become your teacher. Science, on the other hand, when they come up with theories like when Galileo said the world was round, but they nearly light on fire. They told him to go and confess that he's telling a lie. He said, what do I need to confess about? Look at, they said he should shut up. He was placed on house arrest in the pie on top this world that is round. That is science. And opposition is raised. And who are the people that were against the theory that the world was round? Religion. The wise men of those days. You can be wise and 80 in science, and a 12-year-old comes and debunks your theory. Your 80-year-old wisdom goes to nothing. That is science. But religion, the older you are, the wiser you are. I want us to come back to ourselves because we're heading to a brand new year. And I want to ask us all one question as we draw to a close in today's service. What are you consistently committed to? Every day of your life, are you consistently committed to becoming a better person? Or are you consistently committed to living out the ideologies of past generations? Are you going to continue believing pastors that tell you they do miracles? Someone said, Daddy, please, you don't criticize Pastor Toby. You don't see Toby do miracle before. My problem with the church: tithe, seed, first fruit, miracles, putting prayer first. That's my problem with the church. Once you tell a man that his solution is prayer, I have a problem with you. Once you tell a man that for him to be rich, he must pay tithe, I have a problem with you. Once you say you can do miracle, and Mr. Ibu is in the coffin, Onyeka is in the coffin, Mobad is in the coffin, you cannot raise any of them, I have a problem with you. There's a pastor who said with his own mouth that he took Osinachi to the hospital and then went to do crusade in another country where he was healing people. And you expect me not to have a problem with that? I have a problem with anything that controls what you are committed to subconsciously. I don't have a problem. They say Pastor Toby did this, Pastor Toby did not do this, he did this, he did. Nothing has been proven. Watch Pastor Toby's sermon. Any day you see say he do miracle, that day me and I get problem. I go call him out. Unless I know the miracle. Say person cut leg, the leg dey one place, he can't pray, the leg join together. Any day where he tell you, say bring your tithe, bring your seed, bring your offering so that you may grow. That day I get problem with that. But all this one say money loss, money loss. One of the biggest geos in Nigeria cannot enter London because of this same fight. You think London is Nigeria? If they meet £5,000 for your account where they don't understand, Baba, they don't go let you enter their country again. One of the top geos and one of the top seraphim women has been banned from entering the UK because of these same financial issues. How many of it did you talk about? I'm not advocating for anybody or anything. I'm just telling you, what are you committed to? The real fraud in religion is when it gets into your head. That's the fraud. The fraud in religion is when you look at your situation and you cannot tell that it's getting worse, and you believe your prayers are answered. The fraud in religion is when they tell you that it is God that gave you a child and you've been going for IVF for 8 months. That's the fraud. All your healing pastors, all of them have doctors. That's the fraud. Oh, mention one healing pastor. He has a doctor. They get you consistently committed to buffoonery. That is why you will be in Lagos, in Lekki, and we drive every day to another state to attend church. It's not a one-off. It's not somebody's getting married. It's not once in a year. You consistently commit to something. Every Sunday you go to another state to attend church service. Meaning, you must wake up like 5 a.m. on a Sunday when you are supposed to be resting and start driving down to go and attend the church service. I was reading the story of a woman. She said her husband called her one day and said she either gives up her job or gives up the marriage, that he's going to give her 3 months to make a choice. The woman said she was working in a company. They went to build a house in Ikorodu. The company was in VI. So every morning she was waking up at 4 a.m. to get the children ready for school. The husband ran a business inside his own compound. Was making more money than the wife. The wife was closing work as was leaving the house at 5 a.m. For you to leave the house at 5 a.m., when are you going to wake up? At least 4. Bath. Cook for your children. Join one of your colleagues, begin to go VI. That year when there was mad traffic, they will be getting to the office around 7:45. Then they will close at 7 and get home by 11. If you are driving, you see them in traffic every day like that. The wife had no time or no energy for her husband. Then on Saturday, she will wake up in the morning and do the shopping and the cooking for the next week so she can put things in the freezer. Then on Sunday, she will wake up at 5 a.m. and go to church. After church, they will do a workers' meeting. After workers, she will now come home at 5 o'clock. The husband said, get a house girl to go to the market on Saturday and find another church near the house where you can attend their second or their third service and come home. The wife said, lie. So what did the wife do? The wife gave up her job, but never gave up her church. And that brings me to the question, what are you committed to? You don't realize that that church that you go to on Sunday is your pastor's job. That's your pastor's office. That is your pastor's business. The reason why there are workers' meetings, there are all these meetings, there are self-fellowships, is so that they can keep you consistently committed to a cause that will not benefit you on the long run, but instead will benefit your pastor. I dare you today, go and ask your pastor, any church you belong to, ask them that you want to see the deeds of the church. In whose name is the church? I dare you today. Then if it's in the name of some companies, I want you to go and find out who the directors in those companies are. You will be heartbroken to find out that it belongs to your pastor, his wife, and his kids. But you are consistently committed to growing his business while you allow yours lie fallow. Please read Mark chapter 7, verse 7 and 8 as we end. Someone say somebody's brother by because they know they allow transfusion. Not today.
Are you ready?
Yes.
Their worship is a farce, for they teach man-made ideas as commands from God. Or you ignore God's law and substitute your own tradition.
You ignore God's law and substitute your own tradition. You ignore God's law and you substitute your own tradition. I want to ask you today, of all the things you are committed to in religion, how many came from God? Did going to church on Sunday come from God? Did Christmas come from God? Did Easter come from God? I'm asking you. You are consistently committed to man-made traditions that have proven useless over the years, while you neglect what God said and you neglect your own reality, and you want change. Remember, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5 verse 14 says, warn those who are indisciplined and unruly. And verse 17 now says, pray without ceasing. If you are a fertile ground for unruliness, if you like, pray in and out of season. Pray from morning till night. You will attain nothing. You will achieve nothing. I want to end here. A new year is coming. We all have New Year resolutions. What was your last? Amarachi, please come. Belinda, you tell me what your last year new resolution was. What was your New Year resolution? What was your last year New Year resolution?
To be more productive.
To be more productive.
To be a better person.
To be a better person.
Yeah.
Were you more productive? Were you a better person?
Mm-hmm.
So what can you say about these your 2 New Year resolutions last year? They were, from what we've been teaching today, use a word to describe them. They were fulfilled, yes, but it's a word we've been using today that we've been repeating over and over again. They were commitments. They were commitments, right?
Yes.
How were you able to achieve your commitments? By being consistent with your commitments. I want to simplify this. You were a better person because you consistently tried to be a better person. You put in effort to be a better person. Your consistent commitments are what make you keep or break a New Year resolution. Those of you that you break your New Year resolution by February, why? because you were not consistent with it. There was a girl in a relationship. The guy was taking her money, telling her to come out Peking, all sorts of things. She was getting nothing from it. But she kept saying, she kept going back to this guy. Over and over again, she kept going back to this guy. Then in January, she had a New Year resolution. She said, I'm not going to pick his call. I'm not going to answer his SMS. I'm not going to talk to him. I'm going to stay away from him. Then on Valentine's Day, he showed up with flowers at her house. He just came, bearing gifts. Say, hello, baby. And they rolled in the hay, and she got pregnant. Was she consistent in her commitments?
No. She was now. Quite well.
Now, we all want to lose weight.
Yeah.
We all want to be healthy. E no go just better for rice. E no go better for eba. Some of you want to be healthy. And you work out. Work out is one of the most difficult things to do in this life. Do you agree with me? Sometimes it takes me 3 hours to do a 15-minute workout session. 3 hours of psyching myself, trying to go there, calling my children, "Oh, come and count push-ups for me." Work out. When you see somebody that has muscle, what does it mean? He's being consistent at a commitment. Believe that. What were your New Year resolutions last year? Thank you so much. What was your New Year resolution last year?
It's been the same for some years now, to just be a better person, self-improvement.
How committed were you to this?
This year, quite committed.
And how consistent were you with the commitment?
Quite consistent.
This should be your watch year. Somebody say 2025, my year of open glory. As in, Nigeria is 5 steps forward, 11 steps back. Any day you think you have accelerated, you just find yourself going back again. You will have to just into your law. 2025, my year of double favor. You cannot commit to be consistent with something that lives in your imagination. You cannot have a New Year resolution to buy a Maybach. It doesn't work like that. You can have a New Year resolution to make sure you save. You can have a New Year resolution to be more prudent with money. You can have a New Year resolution to expand your business. Nobody does New Year resolution to buy Maybach. Where will you get the money from? That's when ritualists will come and meet you and tell you that go and bring the bobby of your mother. And your mother will be there batting one day, the bobby will be hanging and be like, she doesn't even need this thing again. Not like she has any man that is using it or any child that is using it. If we cut only it now, all sorts of ideas will start playing in your head. If you put a carrot before the horse will be running after the carrot. Whether it gets to the carrot or not, you shall be following it. Let us establish commitments and let us establish the consistency needed to see those commitments to fruition. One, the most important commitment you all need to have is to be more disciplined. And we can start by removing the mind space of indiscipline from our head. there's a big chunk in your mind that allows for indiscipline. Remove it. That's where your commitment starts from. I want to thank all of you for coming to today's service. I want to thank, special thanks to Belinda, my beautiful sister. Thank you very much. Awesome thanks to Amarachi, who is brilliant and also read very well and is committed. Taste buds. That's one of the most committed people I know in my life. They know the hear word. They work from morning to morning. There is no night there unless you force them to have a night rest. Thank you, Uju. Thank you everyone for coming around. Please share the message. Prayer cannot save you. Prayer cannot save you from indiscipline. If you want a better Nigeria, leave Nigeria. If you want a better you, choose the things you are committed to. Somebody said, Daddy Freeze, why are you not doing Nigerian convention? Because next year we want to do America, we want to do Canada, and we're still going to do UK. Someone said, Daddy Freeze, why don't you do Nigeria? I said, Nigeria does not need my message. They are my biggest, the people that have opposed me the most. If you look through this comment section, 80% are abroad. 80% are abroad. Those are the people that see what we see. Thursday is our feeding program. I think we still have maybe 100,000 less. Or maybe 50,000 less. So we need just one more pledge. Anybody that can do 50,000 naira or 100,000 naira, we know we are good. We need about 1.2 million to do our feed. We used to do it every month. Those days we do it with 350k. Food will remain. Now we are doing it 1.2 million. We dey pray make the food go round. I dey tell you, the suya where I dey buy. I used to buy 3,000 naira suya when I started with the guy in 2021. So 3 portions of ram used to be 9k. It went to 4.5. It went to 6k. Now the same 3 portions of ram that we used to eat in 2021 is now 30k. Did I buy ram this week? I did not buy it because I don't understand how me and my wife will sit down and eat 30k suya at once. I might start psyching my mind up to it maybe in the future, but that's how expensive life is in Nigeria. Life in Nigeria is hard. So support us if you can. The Free Nation account is there. Let me turn off TikTok. They don't like giving out numbers on TikTok. Let me turn that off. Okay. So the account is 101-642-6338 Zenith Bank. 101-642-6338 Zenith Bank. The account is Free the Sheeple Ministry. Thank you, thank you, thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you on Facebook. Thank you on Instagram and YouTube. Special thanks to you, Belinda. Someone say full RAM before that 65k, 70k. Now they'll be like 400k. So thank you once again, Belinda. God bless you all. And do share this message with someone. If you don't have the ability to share it, preach it. Nigeria cannot be better unless we're all ready to be committed consistently to the things that matter. I tell people all the time, the physical controls the spiritual. Some people say, no, the spiritual controls the physical. In Japan, where the physical controls the spiritual, are they not doing better than us? Nigerians always look for a spiritual explanation for their foolishness. They will make a religion out of anything. as long as it affords them the opportunity to negate their responsibilities. Anything that will say, it's not me, it's God. You are rich, it's God did it. You are poor. I see one girl the other day. They say she chopped one contract. They benched one chairman, collected 900 million naira. She came to church and said, crying, women. Every woman should be on Netflix. All women can act by default. I've not met a woman that cannot act. Oh Lord, you chose this woman. Of all the women, you chose this woman. Olori Buruku, now God, they sleep with you. Should na God, they knock you. You go now collect contract, come they cry, say, oh God, oh God, oh God. Which God? Then the moment people dare to say, God, you will remember me this year. God, may her God not remember you, a big God. We get anaconda, may he not remember you. He will rearrange your anatomy. I step in the gap for all the women in the house. Then you sit down with your wife stand up. Instead of me, you tear her, start. Sit down there, Oloshi. Standing up to do what? Somebody standing in the gap for you two are standing up. So fellow man say Shinoni. You want to start Shinon? Then all women will hold their hands on their chest and be crying, Father, this year too is my own year. Whoa, if you allow your woman collect the anointing, one she Nicodemus and pliers. You will not turn your wife toward the naka for no reason. Then you are coming home and you are crying and your daughter is asking you, mommy, what happened? Oh God, this billionaire woman stepped into the gap for me. I could not believe I was person where I know where when you live in my world, you know a lot of people who know a lot of people who know a lot of people, and the people will tell you with their mouth, say, that one, and I made the arrange them. If you don't believe, they will show you WhatsApp. If you don't believe, they will show you noodles. Baba, they will prove it to you. And these men like to prove. They like proving. Because let me tell you, these men were non-entities, poor men who stumbled upon an oil block or something and they became so rich and then they can dash a woman $100,000. So when you see them, normally, if to say you be like Dangote Pikin, you go no say no woman do big for you. But when you came from nothing, you now have conquered an A-list Nollywood babe. And she's calling you and you are cutting her call. When you have really conquered a baby, when they start calling you and you are cutting their call. She will call you, cut their call. You call you. Then finally you will pick and say, let me call you back now. You cut the call. And then you look at your friends and say, see this one. Then you send the receipt of the $100,000 you sent to her. You know that she's committed to you. Wherever she is, she'll start to cry. Why are you not picking my call? Why? She's not crying because she loves you. She's crying because she's going to lose access to the flow. 5 days later, you just pick up your phone. Hey, start coming to worry now. A car will pick you up at the airport. Just begin to call. My love, thank you. I thought you were angry with me. Do you know how many Nollywood actresses? There's one Nollywood actress that is married where I don't watch her video. The guy even sent it to me. I don't know as I take delete her. Very popular Nollywood actress. Her full face, they there. Taste buds knows the person I'm talking about. We watched it together. And don't just come out for mainstream. Then the woman will now come and say, the Lord has been so good to me. The Lord, as in, if you want to give Oscar awards, go to church. Forget all this Academy Award they do America. They say Will Smith, he acted as Pussycat inside one movie, he acted as Lion in another movie. Everybody clap for Will Smith. Hey, come and collect your Grammy. Hey, thank you. I want to thank my family. I want to thank Jada. I want to thank Jaden Ta. You want to see the real actors? Go church. Person go come like this with his leg like nothing do. Then the next thing go rise. That one are one set of Academy Award recipients. The second, na the Olo shows. The big God girls who will come cry. Papa, you spoke a word in January. You said this year is going to be someone's year. Papa, I did not know it was going to be me. Papa, you have been a blessing in my life. I did not know that they will ever be counting billionaires. Papa, they will be counting your daughter. Papa, they are counting your daughter as a billionaire in Nigeria. Papa, it's only God. Oh God. Eleribu. When they drink postinol the next day, now God give unto you. My problem is not you. My problem is those who believe you. Because in Nigeria, everybody wants to be wealthy. Because you need wealth in Nigeria. If not, you will suffer. But I want to tell you, if you commit yourself to the future instead of the past, there's a possibility that you have a breakthrough. When Amazon started, what did they commit themselves to? The future of shopping. Facebook, the future of networking. Elon Musk, the future of vehicle travel. But you are committed to building a house in the village in the past. You are committed to becoming a bigger prayer warrior than your mother was. Your mother that you are feeding. Your father that you are feeding. You want to pray more than they prayed. That's where you are going. I'm sorry for you. Commit to building a better future. Walt Disney Park, when they were launching it, Walt Disney's brother came out and said, because he had died just before they opened the park, he said, if only his brother had been around to see it. Now the wife corrected and said, don't worry, he already saw it. If he did not see it in his head, do you think they'll be able to draw it out? And I'm asking you today, what are you seeing in your head? You closing your eyes and kabashing. You're not going anywhere. Look into 2025, all of you, close your eyes. What do you see yourself doing in 2025? Close your eyes. Me too. Close your eyes. Close your eyes. What do you see yourself doing in 2025? What do you see yourself? Think. Focus. What do you see yourself doing in 2025? If you see yourself driving to church, very good. It's one of the reasons why I'm so proud of my wife. She does not give herself rest. She keeps chasing the future of culinary institutions and academy. Trying to build the best culinary school. Sometimes you look at it and you wonder how this is going to ever turn to fruition. But then you watch her diligently, with all diligence, investing in herself and her future. And then you realize that you own the future, but you are stuck in the past. Some people don't believe in time travel. Don't worry, Nigeria is showing you that there's evidence of time travel. Anytime you fly to London, you have entered the future. Anytime you return to Nigeria, you've gone back to the past. Time travel is possible. We are living in America's 1500. When they used to.
America didn't exist.
When did America exist?
1770.
Okay, so we are living in America's 1800. Thank you for correcting me, baby Freeze. That's it. Where did they born winch? That's where we are now. If you not believe me, go begin the talk. Say you be winch for Ajegunle. Whether I know find tire will be your size. If you be a robot, they go find tipper tire. If you be like bad, they will find you keke tire. But see, they don't give you tire. We are living in the past. While our mates are, you not see the train in Qatar? The train has no driver. The train just come. Mind the gaps. We get onto in the airport. We walk from one part of the airport together. To remember, we nearly run mad.
45 minutes.
We're looking for one of the lounges. We nearly ran mad. You know how far that place is. We walk out. We still enter train. We still walk out inside airport. We don't go town. Same thing with Singapore. They are living in the future. They created the future and they are living there. You, your mother or your father will look at you and tell you, this is not how we did things in the past. The answer to them is, if you did things in the past right, we will not be where we are today. So God bless us all. Do have a very splendid week. And once again, be careful what you feed your mind. That's what will save you in 2024. Your mind is more important than your reality because your mind dictates your reality. God bless us. My love to everyone. Take care. Belinda, thank you. Amarachi, Baby Freeze, everybody, thank you. Wow, such a pretty lady. Wow, such a pretty lady. Wow, such a pretty lady. Did you listen to the pretty message? Pretty lady, pretty lady, pretty lady. That's what you did in 2024. You want to carry it over to 2025? Be going. God bless you.
It is